So we are going to get started. I would love to, first of all, welcome everybody. There are some new faces here, so really appreciate you coming and joining us for this wonderful event. My name's Christine, and Melanie, give a little wave there. Together, we have our company Power in Aging. I'm the certified life coach. Mel is the health and wellness coach. So we have a program. We started off about 3 years ago, and we were doing workshops. We were doing live coaching monthly, and we started these live guest speaker events. So I'd love to say I'm just kind of really proud of this. Today is our 30th event. Woo! Really
Amazing.
exciting. Yeah, so we've been having them every month, except we break for the summer. It's a little harder for people to come in the summer. We've had a wide variety of topics, from, different health things. We had
Yeah.
a liver detox coach. We've had a sleep coach, a menopause coach. We've had a cancer coach. We've had feng shui. We've just had a whole array of beautiful women giving such value to our community, and we can't, say thank you enough. And super excited for tonight. I think it's a perfect way to mark our 30th. But before I introduce Karen, just to let you know a little bit about our program, we have now, it'll be a year in May, moved into the online membership space. We wanted to be able to have a community of strong women in middle age, whatever that means to you. So when you're kind of in that stage where you're feeling you're kind of maybe halfway there, and that you might be facing some challenges with your health or with something mental or emotional that's going on in your life. We're here to support you. We like to bring you into our community so we can all raise each other up. We are very pro-aging. We are not anti-aging. We think of every day that we wake up, every breath we're given, it's a gift. So it's a blessing to age, but we just want to do it the best we can. We want to use every minute that we have and take that the precious time that we have here and make something of it, right? We want to leave our mark. We want to find our purpose. So that is what our program is all about. Every month you unlock a new theme in our program. It's a 1-year program, and you have a portal where you get to look at the theme, watch some videos to help you, inspire you around that theme, answer the coaching questions. And then we also, so that's kind of a self-paced part of our program. And then we also have our live portions. We do a coaching session once a month together. We also have put our members into small little, what we call groupettes, and they meet twice a month for support, and we offer some power hours as well. So it's a great way to really get support around the areas that you need, and dive in and also be a support for other people in the community. So if you want some more information on our program, we're happy to, keep sending you all everything through our email program, or you can connect with Mel and I. We'd love to have a little chat with you as well. So we're opening up our doors again very soon. May 1st is our next entry point. We open every 4 months, and that marks our 1-year anniversary. So we're really excited about that. So yes, if you'd like some more information, would love to share that with you. So without further ado, I'm going to jump into the reason you're here. We have a beautiful leader, I would love to say shamanic leader, from Alberta. And I'm very grateful to Kim, who's here, who has introduced Mel and I to Karen, knowing that we would connect, we are aligned, and that this would be just such a gift to bring our community, is her talk on the power animals. So Karen, I will let you take it away.
Hi, my name is Karen. I have a grandmother name. When I was 62, I got my grandmother name. My grandmother name is Grandmother Dances in the Night Skies. And my medicine name is Karen, Sacred Plains Woman. So, Sacred Plains Woman is the medicine that I walk in this lifetime. And my grandmother name is stepping in as an elder into the community to be able to share. I'm just turning 67. And yeah, so the aging process and exploring all this new stuff for me too. I didn't start all this till I was over 55. And I'm now a certified shamanic coach. I'm a practitioner. I'm also a teacher. I teach it. I teach all different types of modalities, if you will, based on the alchemy of the medicine wheel. And I follow the Hopi and the Mayan traditions, which is who I follow. I teach Mayans as well, and I'm a death walker, and I'm also a death doula. So I kind of got a gamut. I'm also a certified art therapist. So yeah, we just kind of do a little bit of everything. So when people come to me and they want to know how can you help me and where do I start, I would ask them to probably start at the beginning. And most people want to start near the middle. They want to know the juicy stuff. But the very first thing to do is to learn how to tap into your body, how to just take a breath and drop into who you are. Turn inward for a moment and allow that breath to just drop down to your right down to your belly, to that sweet spot. And then once you get there, then I would ask you how you feel about power animals. And did you know that you have a power animal? We have 9 animals on our medicine wheel, and each person has their own unique medicine wheel. My animals and your animals are different animals, even if my center power animal is mountain gorilla. And if your center power animal happens to be a mountain gorilla, my gorilla is different than yours. They each have their own personality. They each have their own way of speaking to us. And they each have their own medicine, we call it, to work with us. And if you were to think of the power animals as the middle guy, the very middle guy is the animal that is most like your essence. And I can tell you, I thought it was going to be a horse, or I thought maybe a bear or a wolf. And there's no way I would have ever thought it would be a mountain gorilla. And yet, after I've gotten to know my mountain gorilla, it's absolutely the most fitting thing for me. And the only way to really discover who your power animals are is in the world of journey. You sometimes can go to other shamans and maybe spiritual leaders, and they may say to you, your animal is this or your animal is that. But in all honesty, they're coming at you or letting you know that from their own personal lens. By me allowing you the fun and the excitement of discovery, of self discovery, you uncover all those pieces. And that's in the world of journey, which we'll get to shortly. And I'll explain what journey is. So, I'm just going to quickly go through what our what our animals are, and then I'll go back and revisit them for you. But in the east of the wheel is our warrior animal. That's the animal that gives us that fight. That you're, oh man, everything's coming at me, and I just need a little bit more endurance. I need to be able to stand up and defend myself, or I need to just be able to speak my truth. That is the warrior animal that we would call in. On the east, I'm sorry, the west of the wheel is your healer animal. Your healer animal is the animal that works with your body. It doesn't necessarily work with your mind. It works with your body. It helps move energy. It actually can take pain away. It's a beautiful animal to work with in the healing process of your body. Also, if you work with other people and you're doing, let's say, Reiki with them or other type of energy work, if you call in your healer animal, you can also call in their healer animal, and the two healer animals will work together in assisting that person. Then at the south of the wheel, we use the sun bear zodiac. That is the only animal that is given to you depending on your birth date. So I am a Libra. And because I'm a Libra, everyone is a Libra out there. Your birth animal is a raven. And my raven and your raven will be, again, two totally different ravens. We need to get in touch with our own raven to find out how they speak to us, what their energy is and what their magic is and what their medicine is. And in the top of the wheel is the recapitulation animal. It's a big name, but we spin, right? Our brains spin and we recapitulate and we re-spin and weave these memories and these stories that we tell ourselves, even the good and the bad, but we're always weaving. And that recapitulation animal is the animal that helps us with that, organize it. But they also are the animal that will take memories if there's too much trauma, and it will pop those memories aside and compartmentalize them. They'll put them in a separate space. So you hear of soul retrieval, where pieces of you just seem to disappear. And then if you want soul retrieval, those pieces come back. So a soul retrieval, it's that recapitulation animal that can help you bring those pieces back. Now, there are some people that will bring back the pieces for you, But in my practice and in my belief system, I like to work with people when they are ready to bring those pieces back, rather than me just going in and finding them and bringing them back to a person, to allow that person the self discovery of bringing those pieces back, by working with their recapitulation animal. So when they invite that little piece back, that little 5 or 6 year old you, they can bring it back and you can have that beautiful memory and you can have that beautiful joining and welcome that piece back in. And then it isn't going to scurry away again because you've already done that healing work. But if you haven't done the healing work and someone else brings a piece back that's not quite ready, then eventually that piece is going to scurry away again. So I get people here often. I went for a soul retrieval and I felt great for about a week, and now I feel the exact same way. It's just because that piece hadn't quite healed yet and it scurried away. So then we work with what was hiding and how can we help that piece. So now if we go down to the southeast of the wheel, that's our shadow animal. Our shadow animal is usually black and white, meaning the light and the dark of us, meaning those dark parts of us, those memories, those pieces of our personality, ego sits there that maybe we don't want to acknowledge, maybe we're not happy with. That would be where the shadow animal is. And you hear shadow work all the time. That's the shadow animal we work with. Then in the southwest of the medicine wheel is our dreamer animal. That's the sacred dreams of life. It's one of my most favorite ones. It's the one that is that early childhood. It's that spark of innocence. You know, you're watching snowflakes come down. You run outside and you stick your tongue out and you let the snowflakes catch them in your mouth. Do something fun and spontaneous. That joy, what brings you joy. That's the animal that we work with. The dreamer animal is also the animal we work with in dream time. Boy, they're busy in there because that's where they do most of their talking to us if we haven't connected to them. Then in the northwest of the wheel is our death animal. And that sounds kind of spooky, but our death animal is the animal that's come in and out of every lifetime with us. And it helps connect all the pieces. It walks us to the veil and it helps walk us back into this earth. And it's the only animal that never changes. In every lifetime and every lineage, you will have the same death animal. So then we go to the northeast of the wheel and we work with our past life animal. And often the past life animal and the death animal work together because they're so connected. And that past life animal is the animal who basically tells us who we were in past lives. It helps us untangle the magic of where we were, why we were there, and what did we bring back in this life that maybe we're struggling with? Are we finding a reoccurrence of an event or a reoccurrence of something that we play over and over in our minds even? Then is it something that we brought in from a past life? Our medicine is brought in from a past life. So my medicine is Death Walker is brought in from several lifetimes ago, where I'm able to bring that inner knowing. And I've had people here, it's funny because we were building dream catchers. And then this lady was able to instantly make a dream catcher. She'd never even made one before. And it was absolutely perfect. And she said, my hands just knew what to do. And that's from a past life. That's that cellular memory. And she worked with that past life animal without even realizing that's what she was doing. So they're absolutely sheer magic. Now, if you were to think of your center power animal as the boss of everything, so he's like the office manager. He knows everyone's job. He keeps everything in line and he helps everybody work together. He's like the captain of the ship. He's also the one that you would travel with in journey time. He's the one that will keep you safe. He's your guide. He's the one that's going to help direct you, and he's going to help set the scene, if you will, so that you can get to where you're going. That center power animal's got a big job to do. But if you were to think of all the directions now and all those other animals, each one has their specialty. The warrior animal gives you strength. The healer animal helps heal you. The birth animal, that's the animal of the emotions. The recapitulation animal, the animal of the mind. Shadow animal, of those dark and light pieces of ourselves, of ego. The sacred dreams of life, the dreamer, that dreamer animal. the early childhood memories. Then we have the death animal, death and rebirth. Every day we work with death animal because I'm not the same person I was yesterday that I am today. And tomorrow I'm going to be a different person again. And every day when I wake up, I get to choose who I want to be. That's the joy of each of these animals. And then the past life animal who's just kind of roping it all together, and he's going, I'm going to just put every lifetime in all these different areas. For me, they're doorways, and then he'll take you to a doorway that you want to see if you want to go into a different past life. And it's usually for teaching purposes that I experience past lives, but sometimes it can be for fun too, although they don't always like you poking around in there just for entertainment. So that's your past, that's your animals in a nutshell. And the way to discover them is through the art of journey. So, journey itself is the opposite of meditation. If you're a really good meditator and you can just get everything out there, blank your mind, and sit in that bliss, that sweet spot, that's the opposite of what I'm going to be asking you to do. So what we do is we activate the mind, and there's a drum beat that we use, which is 240 beats a minute. Sounds really fast. And then as we're drumming, and the only reason I'm not doing it right now is because that drum beat can actually put people in the theta state. And so if you're driving or doing something that you need to be alert and I'm drumming, I can literally take you out of that alertness. And so that's why we're not doing it. But you do have access to all that where you can free download my music. So don't worry about that. So, anyway, we take you to the theta state. It's a state of relaxation, but it is also where the shamans go. It's where we go to drop down that deep, deep energy. And we say we're going into the lower world, but we don't always go to the lower world. Sometimes we go to the middle world, sometimes we go to the upper world. So the lower world sounds like it's kind of evil stuff, right? That witchy stuff. It's not. All it means is just a lower dimension, but that's where the animals live. For me, that's the most juicy stuff. I love it. I love my animals. But in the middle world is where the spirit guides live. That's where the humans live. That's where our ancestors live. So if we want to journey and speak to them, that's where we would go. And then in the upper world, that's where the angels go. The higher deities go there. It's absolutely beautiful in that space too. So we have the three layers we can go in. We can also spread out in all kinds of different directions. And then we can go into our power animals. So what you would normally start doing is you would take some deep breaths, you would relax, and you would drop down to your power animal, your center power animal. And when you get down, you feel yourself on the ground and you just start walking. And once you start walking, you take a peek at your feet. What do my feet look like? And when you can start seeing your feet, then you start looking around. Where am I? Am I in a bush? Am I in a forest? Am I in a desert? What's the air? There's a whole different ecosystem in the lower world. And it's absolutely beautiful. And the nice thing about it, too, is every one of your animals has their own ecosystem where they live. So for mine, my warrior animal is a woodpecker, a great big Pladio woodpecker. He's huge and he sits in that west end. And I see somebody with a thumb up. Okay. Anyway, he sits over there in that east of the wheel and he gives me that excitement, but he lives in the forest. So whenever I go over to that side of my medicine wheel in my mind's eye and I'm in there, that I go into the forest. And when I go over to the opposite side in the west, that's where my dragon lives. My dragon's my healer animal. He's huge and he's red and he's black and he blows huge amounts of fire. But when he blows the fire, I'm able to grab the fire and help take pain out of people's bodies, or I will use dragon's breath when I'm going. That dragon's breath helps move all that energy that we're so stuck in sometimes. If I'm in pain, I have arthritis in every part of my body. I will lay down on the ground and I will simply ask my dragon to take it away. And I ask my dragon to work with Mother Earth. And the two of them just pull it out of my knees. They pull it out of my back and my arms. I'm on zero medication. And the doctor is shocked. How come you're not taking anything for this arthritis? Because I'm working with my animals. I don't need to. Because they will help me. They are my protectors. They are my caregivers. Now, the birth animals for the emotions, all the emotions. Do you know, we come here to learn 20 great emotions. It's called the Great Teachers. And there's 20 emotions that we come here to learn just from being human. And when we can break all our experiences down to the 20 great teachers, it helps us understand everything that's going on. The world isn't against us. We're just here to celebrate each and every experience along the way. But sometimes those experiences can be lonely. Sometimes they can be pain. Sometimes they can be confrontational. They can have victory. All those different emotions are all part of the great teachers, and that sits in the south of the wheel. That's our heart space. And that's with that birth animal. And I will also put a link so that you can find your birth animal, I promise. And there, because your birth animal is absolutely wonderful. And again, you can always look up Sun Bear Zodiac and check out your birth animals on there. But I also have it free on my Facebook page as well as on my website. So then go up to the north of the wheel now. Let's do that spinning of the mind. That animal. So my birth animal is a raven. Now the north of the wheel is my recapitulation animal. Mine's a llama. You would think that it would be something, I don't know, a bear or something pretty darn strong. Mine's a llama. And he takes all my internal thoughts and that internal chatter that I use, and he sticks them on a fence post. And then he spits them off and they just dissolve. And that's how they go away, so that I don't need to do the spinning. I don't need to do that. I can call on that beautiful animal whenever I want them. That's what their job is. And then I'm going to go over now to the shadow. You know, we're taught that ego's bad. Ego's not bad. Ego's not bad at all. Ego's there to help us. Ego's there because it likes us to be okay. It doesn't want us to change, no matter what we're going through. Sometimes we have to ask ego to step aside so that we can move forward on our healing path. And it sounds odd, but we get locked into the stories of pain sometimes. My story was, I had this bad life, all these terrible things are happening to me. That's the spin of the story. And ego wants us to stay with what we know. But when we work with the recapitulation animal and we go, hey, buddy, we need to get rid of all those thoughts, all those things that are tying us down, preventing us from moving. Then he connects with the shadow animal. And together, the two of them help each other and help you get rid of all those things so we can now walk in the light of that. And every existence, everything that has happened to us, we can turn to the light side. And I know the first thing some people are going to go, that ain't happening. I had a really traumatic life, blah, blah, blah. I did too. My whole life was a matter of survival and fighting for survival. But there was joy in those moments too. There was absolute pure bliss in those moments. So I can let go of the bad stuff and allow my recapitulation to just take it. And then ask my shadow animal to help me sort through the memories and the feelings and all the stuff that I'm going through so I can unpack it. So I don't have to carry it anymore. And I can sit in the light. And then I can walk forward in the light. And then I can dare to dream. And now in comes that dreamer animal. Dare to dream. Anything's possible. What brings you joy? So I started doing an art therapy program online, teaching people how to do art therapy and work through it. And I discovered that all the things that I had put aside, I'm totally enjoying again. I'm enjoying painting. I'm enjoying doing drawing and doing all that stuff without thought, without any worry about the outcome. That's that beautiful, beautiful dreamer animal. So my shadow animal, sorry, I forgot to tell you, my shadow animal is an orca whale. It's a female. And now my dreamer animal is a lion. He's huge. He's a big, big lion. And when I lay down, he cuddles up on top of me. And when I go to bed at night, often I can feel him right along the side of me. His whole side is just fur. And I just close my eyes and I can just feel the warmth of this big, beautiful lion as I fall to sleep, resting on him. It's the most beautiful thing in the world. And I swear it feels very real. So my recapitulation is the lion, or I'm sorry, my dreamer animal is the lion. And I asked the dreamer animal, "Why are you my animal?" And he said, "Because you had a really traumatic childhood and you need a powerful animal." I know people with all different kinds of animals, from skunks to muskrat to you name it, panthers to bears to even you can have a power animal or an animal that is an ant. You can have one that is Sasquatch. You can have one that is a dinosaur. The sky's the limit. The only limitation is your imagination. And I can tell you, the first thing people ask me after they've come on a journey, did I make that up? Because it's so real. Did I make that up? And I'm going to say, no, you didn't make that up. But even if you did, how do you feel? And not too many people don't feel very, like, feel bad. They all feel good. I feel loved. I feel cared for. I feel safe. That's what you're feeling. And that's that world of journey. And I want to go back into the world of journey for just a moment. I'm kind of bopping around all over here. But the world of journey itself, you can go into the world of journey and just see darkness. Like, I mean, black darkness. I don't see anything. All I'm doing is listening to the drum and I don't see anything. That's okay. Will that change? It may not. Not everyone can see visually. I have the luxury of being able to see visually, but not everyone does that. So don't beat yourself up if you can't do that. You can still get in touch with your power animals. You can do that by just that inner knowing. Gee, I was in there and I had a feeling that there was an animal with wings. I don't know what it was, but I could feel that there was an animal with wings. And over time, the more that you journey to it, the more it will start speaking to you. We also do something that's called shape shifting when we're looking for our animals. So a funny thing, when I was doing with my recapitulation animal for 2 years, I thought my recapitulation animal was a camel. And then I tried shape shifting into it. And I discovered as I shape shifted, my body changed in journey. And as it changed in journey, my recapitulation animal actually was the llama. He looked at me very funny and he said, "I'm no camel. I'm a llama. Like, get with it." So getting to know them, and they do have personalities, and they do speak. Some people can hear, some people can see, some people can smell, some people can taste. I'm lucky I get all of that, but I journey in black and white. I don't see color unless it is something intentionally to catch my attention. So if I'm in a journey and there's a stream, and say there's a big red flower sitting in a field beside that stream, it's going to catch my attention. And I know that red flower now has a message for me. So then I always go to whatever's in color in a journey. I've just learned to do that. And then I will sit with whatever it is and ask it what it is there to tell me. And we can have so many different power animals work with us. It doesn't have to be the 9 that are on our medicine wheel. Sometimes we can work, I can call in the medicine of bear whenever I want, and I do not have a bear on my wheel. I can call the energy of a peacock, and I don't have a peacock on my wheel. We also can call in the elements. Have you ever worked with an element of air, an element of fire, elephant or element of water and air, of earth? All these elements have actual personalities and they can join us in the world of journey. But that's what our center power animal does. It takes us to explore those things. So we can see all of that in that journey space. We also can journey to a tree. We can journey to a direction. North, south, east, west. Lower world, middle world, upper world. We can go in and out of portals through different time zones, through different space. Go back to our seat of origin. Have you ever wondered where your seat of origin came from? Where's it going? You can travel back that way through journey. And that's by using that center power animal. They will assist you in getting into all those beautiful spaces. So each animal works with another animal, and together they got your back. And there's nothing like feeling the energy of where you are sitting with your animal and feeling that true love. The first time I met my power animal, I was going in journey. I was walking down a long cave, and I kept walking, and all I could see was my feet at first. And then a little mouse came running up, and I said, "Are you my power animal?" And just scurried on past. I went, "Thank God I don't like mice." And he kept on going, and it ran down. And then I'm walking, and this big orangutan comes out. I said, "Are you my power animal?" He just laughed at me, but he grabbed my hand. He started pulling me down the path. So I just kept following him. And as I went around the corner, my whale was over in the corner, and I saw the whale there, and the whale blew water out her spout. And I said, "Are you my power animal?" She said, "Nope, but you and I are going to work together a lot. Keep on going." That ended up being my shadow animal. And as I went around another corner and down some stairs, I saw this great big black hand. It stuck out, and it's just going like this. And I walked over, and I peeked through these bushes, and there was this great big huge mountain gorilla, and he just went like this. And I walked over to him, and I cuddled up instantly on his lap, and he wrapped those great big hairy arms around me, and he rocked me like a baby. And I cried, and I cried, and I cried, because for the first time in my life I felt safe. I felt safe. And then I started craving what it was like to journey. And every day I journeyed. There's a lady out there, her name is Sandra Ingram. She has wonderful journey music, and she's who I downloaded. I downloaded her stuff, and I started doing it every day. Every day for 3 years, I journeyed to my center power animal. And then after that, my center power animal said to me, "Go seek out the teachers now. Now's the time." So I went and I sought out the teachers, and I found the teachers, and I began my training. But my training, I didn't intend on doing any of this stuff. But my animals were telling me I needed to do this. And I didn't think I had any healing to do. In my day and age, you just shut up. You were dealt a tough hand, deal with it. No. What I learned is tears heal. I learned it's okay to be angry. I learned it's okay to cry. I learned it's okay to love myself, to be worthy of myself. Because I never believed in any of that before. And I learned that I can stand on my own 2 feet. And as I learned to do that, and as I got stronger inside, then I dared to dream. Can I become a teacher? Can I become a coach? Can I actually help people? Yes, you can. And then I started doing that. But I limited myself. You can't go online. You're not polished like all these other girls. When I watch all the people that are doing online shows, they're pristine. They know what they're doing. They got beautiful presentations. I don't like technology. So I'm technology challenged. I'm old. I don't, who would listen to me? But I find that people are coming. People are coming to my teepee. People are coming to my online programs. People are also coming to themselves. And they're connecting with their power animals more than ever, because those power animals are healing. And those power animals are power, personal power. And they are your best friends. They truly are your best friends. So, how do you feel about the power animals now and the directions? The directions themselves are the alchemy of the medicine wheel. And what is the alchemy of the medicine wheel? In the east of the wheel, and watch how this plays in with your animal. In the alchemy of the east is the fire, the spark of the new day. What gives you fire? Well, you need a little bit of fire, that oomph. If you need to fight back, stand up for yourself. Stand up strong and on your own 2 feet. Can you fly high? That's that beautiful warrior animal. I had to speak to probably about 500 people at a pet rescue thing that I was doing, because I'm also an animal communicator, and I had to speak about it. And I was terrified. I'd never spoken public before. And I'm standing there, and all I wanted to do was cry. I don't know why. That was the first thing I wanted to do. Got that lump in your throat, and all I wanted to do was cry. And that warrior animal just flew in, and I could feel him coming in and sitting on my shoulder. And I just went like this. No one knew what I was doing. I was tapping that beautiful bird. I was going, thank you. And all I did when I talked, I let everyone else in that audience go. And I talked to that animal that was sitting on my shoulder. And I got through it. I wasn't the best in the world, but I made it through. I found the courage to face it. Because sometimes when we're perfectly imperfect, we're absolutely perfect. And then with my dreamer animals, that little kid in me, man, even though you had that terrible life, now I look forward to going out and playing. And now I get to play as a child and bring that childhood in. If I didn't have a childhood, I can create my own childhood. Even at 67 years old, I can create my own childhood. And I can say, hey, these are going to become my memories now. These are my memories. And I give myself permission to be a kid again, to laugh, to have fun, to explore, have a water fight for no reason, do a twirl in the middle of an aisle in Safeway. People look at you like you're nuts, but it's so fun. Laugh more. Have fun with the little things that you just ignore. And then for the birth animal, those emotions, they're huge. Those are absolutely huge. Don't let those emotions go. They matter. And I know we sometimes put walls up around us. Oh my God, I'm building all these blocks up around us. And why do we do that? We do it because it hurts. We do it for protection. But when we work with the birth animal, they start pulling all those pieces aside, and they start watching us and letting us experience and feel. And they support us when we're going through the emotions that we need to go through. They help us walk through those. So mine is a raven. My raven, he wraps those big wings around me and he just cuddles me like, you're okay. You're okay. And my recapitulation animal, he's always there in the background watching. He's my protector. He watches, he keeps my mind safe. And when old memories pop up, he's there. And I go, okay, buddy, how do I work with this? Why is this triggering me? What do I need to see? And he may call in 3 or 4 of the other animals to join him. That's the trip. Just sit down with your committee in front of you. They're your committee. They're there to help you. So if you're looking for a best friend that will always be with you, if you're looking for that guidance and the guide and the teacher, you already have it. They're inside you. Every one of those animals, they are there for you whenever you need them. And when you get skilled at recognizing them and talking to them, you don't even need the drum anymore. You can just close your eyes and call them in, and they will appear. They will be there for you. That's their job. They're just as excited as you are when you're doing it. And you only have one set of animals. So I have had people ask me, will I get different animals as I change and develop? No, you don't. That one animal will always be my center power animal, will always be my center power animal. Doesn't mean I won't work with other animals, but my center power animal will always be there, just as my warrior, my healer, my birth animal, my recapitulation animal, my shadow animal, my dreamer animal, my death animal, my past life animal. They will always be the same, but I can work with other animals whenever I choose, and so can you, if you just learn their medicine. I also build medicine tools. So when I'm working with the medicine tools, I work and I talk to the bones and I talk to the feathers, and I do that with the aid of my animals. I bring every one of them in. Can you help me with this? Can you show me what I need to see so that I can do it? That's what I'm talking about. Those animals will help you on every aspect of your life if you allow them and if you're open to it. And everyone can journey, but every person journeys in their own unique way. So don't compare yourself. We get people here in the teepee. We hold 14 people in the teepee. And often we share our journeys afterwards. And people are going, but I never had a journey like that. I want a journey like that. You're going to get the journey that you get, and you're going to get the teaching that you get. I'll just quickly tell you one more quick thing that my power animals did to me when I first met it. First time I met him, he handed me a stick, a little tiny stick. And he put it in my hand and he turned his big back to me. I got the impression I was supposed to comb him with this stick. So I started combing him. And now we were in 3 journeys that night at a drum circle. So I'm combing him. And the end of the first journey, I come out, what did you do? And I said, well, I combed a gorilla. That's all I did. He didn't let me do anything else. Didn't take me anywhere. And then the next journey, he held me the stick again. And he said, what did you learn on the last one? I said, I don't even know what I'm doing. And he just turned his back to me. And I combed him again. And I'm going, come on, buddy. Like everyone else is doing all this fun stuff. I want to do fun stuff. No, he would not budge. Everyone came on a journey and they're telling all these fun things they were doing. What did you do, Karen? I combed a gorilla. One more journey left in the night. And I'm going, please don't make me comb you. I go back in. Yeah, hands me that stupid stick again. Now I'm mad at him. And I'm saying, I don't want to do this. And having this argument with this gorilla that I didn't want to comb his hair. And he turns his back to me anyway. So now instead of fighting it, I decided I would surrender to it. And I slowed down and I really took time. And then I realized that all of a sudden there were 11 silver hairs on his left shoulder. Something that I had not ever occurred to me before to even look for. 11 silver hairs on his left shoulder. We came out a journey, and as we were just before we came out, he turned to me and he said, what did you learn? And I said, well, I learned that you have 11 silver hairs on your left shoulder. And he goes, but what else did you learn? I said, I don't know. And he goes, you learned patience. You learned to slow down. You learned that you don't have to have all the answers. And he's right. You don't have to have all the answers. They will teach you in their own unique way. And they have their own unique way of getting through to you what you need to see. Some people see sunrises and sunsets, journey after journey after journey. And then finally their animal will let them go because they're learning patience. They're learning to slow down. It's absolutely amazing how they teach. They have such a unique way of doing it. And again, every person's animal is different. So that would be my advice. Journey lots, and get to know your animals. Keep a journal on all your journeys, because journeys from 3, 4, 5 years ago sometimes make sense down the road. So that's what I would suggest. Is there any questions?
Wow, that was amazing. I'm going to open up the, yes, I'll open up for questions, and I'm going to just change to gallery view maybe
Okay.
as well. Wow.
Very cool.
I have a few. Yeah, it's very cool. I have to try it.
I bounce all over. You should say I'm like a squirrel.
But that's not one of your animals, right? Squirrel?
No, it's not.
But the squirrel was working with her tonight, right?
That's right.
And just a reminder to everybody, I'm sending out an email tomorrow. It'll be a thank you for coming email. It will have all of Karen's contacts in there. There is a link to her YouTube journey.
Yeah, called the drum journey.
Drum
Is
journey.
drum journey
That you
music.
can
Yeah.
play and listen to for your own journey as well. So that was really lovely for her to do that.
Yeah. Hope I didn't confuse you guys. It's a bit nerve-wracking just looking at my picture.
Sorry. Talking to yourself. Yeah. So yes, I'll open up the floor. Anybody have a question they want to ask Karen, Aloysia?
Karen, you mentioned east was fire. Did you want to share the other directions as to what the elements were?
Oh, good idea. Yeah, thanks, Luisha. Luisha's one of my students, so
She's on it
now.
And my power animal is the squirrel. So
Oh, there you go.
So in the east is the fire, in the west is earth, in the south is water, and in the north is air.
Cool.
That makes sense. North air.
Yeah. And then the other alchemy that we would go with when we're doing medicine wheels ourselves is in the east is it represents spirit. The south represents emotions. The west represents the body, the physical body. And the north represents the mind.
Okay, so the mind was air, the earth was body.
Yeah.
The water was what did you say
Emotion.
that was? Spirit? No, emotion.
Yeah.
And the west was
No, that what the east
Oh,
is.
sorry.
Yeah, east is fire and spirit, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I got it right. I wrote it down.
Yeah. And that's all in there too for you guys. So all that stuff's free. And yeah. Any questions?
I had that question I was going to ask as well. So thank you, Luisha. So I have a question. So if I were to, go into this journey, how would I know which animal I'm meeting? How do I know this is my birth animal or my west animal? You know what I mean?
Ask it in. So what you're going to do is you're going to call it's in. So when you start doing it, when you first turn on the video or it's also got kind of like a spirally thing for people that some people like to go with their eyes closed. Some like to have their eyes open. So if you're a person who's in meditation state, you're going, oh, I got groceries to do, and I wonder if that's done, and your mind's going everywhere else. Then what we do is we give you a visual to look at as you're listening. So anyway, so what we would do is take you through so a relaxation. There's a 10-minute relaxation. And then after the relaxation, we ask you to set your intention on where you're going. So then you set the intention, I am going to. So I'm going to my birth animal. I'm going to my center power animal. We ask that probably your center animal is the one that you should technically meet first. And after you meet them, not be in a rush to meet them all. The journey with each animal for 5, 6, 7, even 20 times, and then say, okay, now I'm ready for the next one on the wheel. And then work your way east, west, south, north, around that medicine wheel as you're meeting your animals. That's probably the best way to go.
Would you want to meet them all in one journey, or would you do like one day you do one day you do another? Okay.
Yeah. When you get really skilled at it and you've been doing it for a while, then go ahead and try. It's a party when they all show up. But until you're really, really skilled at it, I wouldn't advise it because it'll get too confusing for you. Because not only that, if you're bringing them all in, you don't know where they sit. Mm. And the idea is to figure out where they sit. Who are they? And then what is their medicine? And the first thing I would say to you, drop your energy and how did my body feel when they approached me? When they're with me, how does my body feel? Do I get a tingling? Do my hands heat up? What happens? Because each animal is going to connect with you differently. So my center power animal, when he's with me, I feel my shoulders roll immediately. When my shoulders roll, I know that's Congo coming in. And he's the only one with a name, by the way. The rest of them don't have names. But he rolls his shoulders in, and I feel my body physically rolls. When I'm working with my warrior animal, I always says I feel like it feels like something's rubbing on my face, and it feels like those big wings that these guys got, huge wings. And when I'm working with my dragon, my hands get hot. My hands just light up. And so I know if all of a sudden I'm gardening and my hands light up, I'd immediately just close my eyes and I drop into dragon and find out what he's trying to tell me. Because it could be that I'm doing something that he wants to give me some more information. That's what we call the downloads. So when you're tapped into spirit that way, you can get those downloads from those animals. And they literally are your guides. They are the teachers. When I teach, the programs that I teach, they teach me before I teach my students. So then I write it into what we're teaching each other. like when I go into the class where we're teaching, I've already been taught that from my power animal. So they're telling me how to teach it to get the word out to my students. It's pretty unique.
Amazing. Well, let's open up back up to gallery. Any other questions right now? Anybody want to have anything that they wrote down, or Janet?
Yes. So I just wanted to say that, I had my first journey with Karen. Well, once upon a time, it must be a couple years now, and was so eager to meet my power animal. And it was one of those things that you think that you were hallucinating or dreaming or making it up. If I was to tell any of my family how it went, they think I'm nuts. But I a bunch of animals had come to me at the lake around a fire. They're almost dancing to the drums.
Yeah.
And I see this, and it was a reptile. It ended up being a caiman. And I didn't know caiman even. Like, I had to Google it after we were done. And I went, yep, that was what it was. Because I'm going, alligator? Crocodile? What are you? Are you a lizard? Like, I kept asking. And it honestly came up like the Hollywood sign. Like, it just came in. And I went, okay. And it was like, I just kept asking until I finally said, came in. And, okay, that's it. Like, you got it. It just, this massive feeling. And then for days, the things that happened, I go to my animal deck and dust it off and realize it's covered in scales. And then I pull one card, it comes out as a lizard, and the ability to drop your tail and regrow another, like, kind of something I've repeated a few times in life. But it's been a really awesome experience. All the things that, everything I've gotten from Karen in life has just been wonderful. And I love learning everything you have to teach.
Thank you so much. I'll tell you a little story about a little girl. She was 9, and I teach kids. Kids are easiest to learn because they don't question. And so in Journey, and their journeys are shorter because they tap in quicker. But this little girl came out, and all the kids were talking about their animals, and there was a bear, and there was a rabbit, and there was all this stuff. And this little girl, she said, I've got a squirrel that's black with a rainbow tail. And I'm thinking, oh, she made it up, but that's cool, right? That's fine. And so anyway, it was about a year later, I'm watching a National Geographic show about a giant rainbow squirrel. It's black with a rainbow tail, and it lives in the Amazon.
Wow.
I just about fell over. So I Googled it to look it up, and I sent her a picture. I said, Aubrey, is this your power animal? And she said, yes, no one believed me. Yes. Now, how could a little girl, 9 years old, who did not know that animal was real, heck, us adults didn't know that animal was real, to discover it? That's not, you can't make that stuff up. You can't make that stuff up.
Karen, I have a question in regards to, so this is, meeting your power animal in a journey, but what happens if, like, in real life, you constantly are seeing an animal? There was, like, I don't know, a coyote that's constantly visiting your backyard, or every time you drive, you see an eagle, or you know what I mean? Like, you feel like there's one visiting you in person?
That's different. So
Okay.
then what I would do is that's called, it's a intentional journey. So then what you would do is you would journey and call in that animal, because all animals teach us. So all the animals have a message for us. So if I have a whole herd of deer that came out, and they literally came and looked in my window, my living room window, 4 of them. And I'm going, holy smokes, look at that. And my dog's going crazy and the cats are growling. And I went, wow, that's really weird. And I didn't acknowledge it after that. 2 days later, I look and they're all back in my yard again. Clearly, there's a message for me. And so then I went into the world of Journey. So then I tapped in, I listened to my own drum music. I dropped into that state, that theta state. And then I asked them, I've called them in. Okay, dear, I want the 4 deer that came and visited me. What are you trying to tell me? Well, they were trying to tell me that they were actually in danger, that we are in danger over by the creek. And I said, well, what's going on at the creek? Well, apparently there was some construction guy there that had left some wire, and one of the deers got their foot tangled in the wire. And it was like, we are in danger. So I hike on over to the creek, and everyone's going to think you're absolutely insane if you phone the county. Well, I had a journey, the deers told me. So I went over there and checked it out. There was wire that they had left from fixing the bridge. So we just scooped up all the wire and took it to the dump. But it was that sort of thing that happens like fairly regularly. So journey to the animal. Maybe it might be telling you there's a birth. Maybe it's a death. Pay attention to what's going on around you, and then ask them for more signs. Because maybe if the eagle's talking to you, because you keep seeing an eagle flying on the way to work, ask them for more signs. I'm unclear of what you're trying to show me. And then watch for the signs of them. All of a sudden you could open a book and somebody could have an eagle. You could watch a commercial and the eagle's there, like the eagle's showing up all over. What is it telling you? And then journey to it and ask them. Because even if you look in a book, which is my biggest pet peeve, all my students know that, they would say, what does the book say? And I said, I don't care what the book says, because if the book says that an eagle appearing means this, that's from whoever wrote the book's point of view. Your animals and the animals will speak to you how is right for you. So if you can trust that, they will give you your own information. Use the books as a guide, but don't use it as gospel. Actually ask the animals, they will give you the answer. And they give it to you in riddles quite often. So that's funny, because then I call it getting homework, because if all of a sudden I have an animal that's saying this, this, and this, and then I want more understanding, that means I have to go back and journey again to get those answers. So now I get homework to go journey and do more stuff. Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for clarifying that, because I often hear people say, "Oh, I keep seeing it, whatever. It must be my power animal," and you know what I mean. And yeah. Thank you.
And the center power animal, it can also be referred to as a totem animal, or it can be referred to as a spirit animal. And depending on the lineage line that you're following, some only have one animal. But that doesn't mean there aren't other ones that we can tap into. But when we use the alchemy and bring the alchemy of the wheel and the animals in, then that gives you a bigger family, I guess, to draw on. The same thing with if I've got a fan, because I've made a fan out of an animal for feathers and stuff, that now has a spirit in that fan. What is the spirit of it? My medicine drum is a mammoth. And it's a buffalo drum, and I'm playing the buffalo drum to try to learn who the spirit animal is, and literally a mammoth came walking out of it. And it was pretty cool. So I learned, now I want to tap, but the mammoth that came out of that drum is a different mammoth than what my past life animal is. My past life animal, I know instantly when I'm working with that, because I get that musky, terrible, I want to throw up kind of smell. He stinks. And as soon as I smell that smell, I know it's my past life animal. But which is very, very helpful, because if I'm doing something, then I know this isn't from this lifetime that you got to fix. It's from that lifetime you got to fix. So then I can tell the difference. Am I recycling here something that happened here in this lifetime, or is it something that I'm bringing in for another lifetime?
Karen, there's been a question in the chat box. Someone said, I often see red-tail hawks and have had a squirrel jump onto my front door. What might that be?
Journey with the animal. And no one's gonna like that answer. I honestly, journey with the animal, because that animal will have something to tell you. Now, if all of a sudden you're saying, you go into journey and you're going, I want my power animal, and all of a sudden a squirrel shows up or a red-tailed hawk, then you're going to go, I know why you were hanging around, because you're trying to get my attention. And you're trying to tell me that now's the time to open up that doorway and get to know who I am. So that could be that too. So I can tell you, I wouldn't have a mountain gorilla knocking on my door, running through my yard, right? So he had a different way of coming to me, but yeah.
Lori?
Well, that is so weird because I had been talking to somebody a couple days, well, the day before this, and we were talking about working from home. And he said, well, you know, Lori, I get a little squirrely if I don't see people. And I'm literally sitting at my desk in my office at home, and the squirrel jumps from the windowsill onto my door. And I thought, that's Brock. Brock's gone squirrely. It was the weirdest thing. And I've never seen a squirrel do that before, like was hanging from the wreath on my door.
And that very well could be that energetic of him, of coming in. So what then I would say to him, find your power animal and what your power animal. And I'll tell you something else that's really interesting. You ever walked into a room and immediately not like somebody? I'm just scared of them and I don't know why I'm staying away from them. Yes. When we get to know our power animals, often we're predator and prey. So one could be a mouse as their center power animal. One could be a hawk as their center power animal. That's that natural instinct to stay away. So our power animals can interact that way. So now when I get somebody and I know that they're like, I'm just backing off, I wait to find out. And then I ask them later on, you know, what their animal is. Or if it's clearly not appropriate for me to do that, then what I will do is just say, you know what, Congo, it's okay to sit back and allow me to experience, just protect me. So, and then I have other people. So when I'm going into a room of a whole bunch of different people, or I'm going to an event or something, then I just always bring Congo in and I ask Congo to set a protection all around me. And then as I'm doing that and I'm walking into an environment, I've had people come up to me and say, gee, you know, I was trying to read your energy and all I see is a gorilla's face. Yep, that's right, because my gorilla ain't gonna let you in there, right? I didn't give you permission to go into my field. So that's kind of what we do. And they are there to protect. And they are fierce protectors, even if it's a butterfly. Like I had a lady had a dragonfly once as her power animal. She hated dragonflies, terrified of them. And this dragonfly kept coming in her face and she's swatting it away in Journey. She says, I can't find my power animal. And she says, this damn dragonfly keeps bothering me. I said, was the power animal your dragonfly? She said, no. The next journey, she journeyed and I said, ask that dragonfly what it has to tell you. And that dragonfly got huge and it yelled at her, I'm your power animal. So well, I guess it is. Yeah. So and you think you're making it up. My son, you know, thought that he was making it up too, or my grandson. And I said to him, are you going to tell your buddies? He goes, what do I tell them? The never ending story is real? He says, no one is going to believe me.
I just wanted to ask you, and first of all, thank you. This is so interesting. This is just absolutely amazing. So thank you for making the time to share this. Like, this is amazing. I just wanted to ask you and clarify again, because there's so much to unpack. It's your spirit animal that is the first one you want to journey to, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's the one that sits in the middle of your medicine wheel.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah. Okay,
the boss of everybody. He's the office manager, if you will. Right. And each other one has their own department.
Okay, perfect. Okay, great. And an interesting kind of funny story is we're talking about animals showing up in our lives and whatnot. Throughout my entire life, I have had flocks of crows showing up and following me. Both my sister and I. At one point I moved to a small town in Ontario. I'm in Ontario, Gravenhurst, okay? And rented this place. And the next morning I get up to let the dog out and there are flocks of crows sitting on the telephone line, screaming at me. And I'm like, what on earth? And throughout my life, I've always had crows. So it's very interesting. I have not seen a lot of them as I'm in the city now. So I don't necessarily, I see pigeons more. Anyways, but next time I will definitely have to connect and see. This is
Yeah. What's
what
your birth? Are you are you a Libra?
I'm a Virgo.
Okay, okay, that doesn't help me. But you, because I don't know them off by heart. Luisha, what are you? Your birth
I'm
animal?
February and it's a cougar.
Okay, and Kim?
June, and I'm a deer.
Okay, okay. I don't remember that. But because I don't have those ones memorized off by heart. But
Yeah.
because I was wondering if it could have been a raven that you were seeing as opposed to a crow. Do you know the difference?
I do actually, yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Because
No,
raven have
they're
fingers.
definitely crows.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. Very strange. Very,
I
very
love
strange.
it. I love it.
What is
I
the
would-
difference? Karen, what is the difference between the raven and the crow?
The raven is bigger, like almost double the size for one. Their
Yeah.
feet are scaly. They have almost like a dragon's foot. They're literally scaly. They look different, leathery and scaly. And their wings or their feathers are V, so they're tipped. They're sharp. And a crow has a round feathers. They have a smooth foot. They're smaller. They got a smaller beak. Although their skulls, I've got animal skulls all over here, but their skulls, they're quite a bit smaller, but they're the exact same shape together. You would just think one was a baby, one was bigger, because they're everything is identical on that. But they're definitely, their feet are the big ones and their tail. So watch for, because I doubt if you're going to be able to see their wings unless they're spread out, but those tail feathers are a dead giveaway.
Energetically, are they similar or different?
It depends on the animal. It depends on the animal. You could have a crow that's really, really mischievous as your power animal, but you could also have a raven that's really mischievous. So again, I encourage you to speak to the animals. They'll tell you. They'll tell you.
I just wanted to share my power animal wheel.
Beautiful.
Nice.
So that's just an example of what you'll learn through Karen's online. Kim has hers up as well.
Thanks, guys.
Cool.
Those are awesome. Yeah, and
I
oh, go ahead, Sarah Mel.
Sorry, I wanted to just ask, and you might not know, I'm not sure, the difference between, I mean, power animals are obviously, there's many of them in our lives, but a spirit animal, how does that differ? Are you aware of the difference between?
Terminology. So
Hmm.
terminology is spirit animal, totem animal, center power animal. Those three all are the same. But
Oh,
our
okay.
power animals themselves, the directional power animals, which is where we're the 9. So
Yeah.
the ones on the outside, there's 8 of them. Those ones are called directional power animals, but we just call them power animals into whatever it is that we happen to be pulling in, whether it be warrior, healer, emotions, that sort of thing. So that's what we're talking about. But when you're talking about spirit animal, totem animal, and all that, you're talking about that very center one. And that's what you're talking about.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And that will never change for you. If you know what your what your spirit animal is. And however, I have had people, actually it's funny, my husband is Cree, and his family was, his nephew was given a spirit animal. Your spirit animal is by one of the chiefs. And when he was here in the teepee, he discovered that his spirit animal was not what he was told. His spirit animal was something totally different. And it was like, oh, okay. And he goes, well, what do I do with that information? I said, you talk to the animals and find out what you want to do. And he said, no, I'm supposed to have that center power animal as my center power animal. He said, and the one that the chief gave me is, he's there, but he isn't part of this wheel. And I said, and then that's exactly what you follow, because they'll tell you. So that spirit animal is almost for him when he's in sacred ceremony. So when he goes in sacred ceremony and sweat lodge and that sort of stuff, he brings in that other animal that the chief gave him. but his central power animal often joins them, oddly enough. Yeah.
Question in the chat. That's a great question, Lori. Do the animals choose the person?
Yes. Yes. And it is your death animal's job, as you are being born, getting ready to be born, they're already matching you up with animals. The animal that would most serve your life purpose, because you've already wrote your book of life. So what emotions did I choose to come here to experience? And what is my book of life going to look like? That's a whole teaching unto itself. But so it's not like I'm going to be in an accident when I'm 30 years old and I'm going to have this, and this happen to me. It's not what our book of life is. Your book of life, you had wrote, at this age, I'm going to experience pain. I'm going to experience care as in needing care from others. I'm going to need whatever of the 20 emotions. So then they're picking the animals that are going to help serve you in whatever it is that you've wrote for your book of life. That's how you get them.
It's fascinating. And what I was going to say before is I just wanted to remind everyone that, Karen, you have 2 websites, but there's so much information on there. And I know you have some free introductory courses that you can work your way through, if you want to even, see if you want to dive a little deeper into this topic, as well as, other programs that Karen offers virtually for those of us who are unfortunately not able to join you in your TP, which I would love to do. And then there's those who are, closer, and in person. I just had
Awesome.
Oh, why do people fear snakes? There's a question that's popped up in the.
It's just because, propaganda, social media itself telling you snakes are bad. Adam and Eve, they tell you right from the kid, the snake was the bad guy, right? So the snakes get all these bad raps, but snakes actually are good. Snakes, snake energy, beautiful Kundalini energy, that wonderful shedding of the old and inviting the new. That's actually a powerful animal to have if anybody's got it. But a lot of people are afraid to have it. But it's only because they've been given such a bad rap by us humans.
I'm excited to dig into some of these. I love me some animals, so it'll be nice to know which ones are, aligned with the journey for me. Yeah, I'm excited.
So so you can find me on shamanicreiki.ca. That's one of my websites. And then I've got a teaching website where you can sign up for courses and stuff like that. It's more of where I send people if they're in courses, is shamanicteachings.ca. And then I've got on the shamanicreiki.ca, there is a free YouTube drum circle, like drum journey music. There's also something called the cup is half full or fill your cup. I forget what it's called. One is something like that. And it's if you're feeling drained at the end of the day, how can you pump yourself up and how can you give yourself back energy? So it's understanding before you get to that drained point and being able to fill your cup again. And then I did another one. I did a summit that I was a guest speaker at. And that summit was courageous vulnerability, of how we walked our healing path and actually open ourselves up with that courageous vulnerability, where we think we can't, the shit we tell ourselves, where you think, I can't do this, I can't do that, what if, when we spin, and how to get out of that. And just a different teaching in that's also on there. And
Karen, I have included as well links in the follow-up tomorrow for both the drumming and for your cup, fill your cup, as well.
Perfect.
Direct links, yeah.
So
that's awesome. You
Christine's
also always on top of that stuff.
I'm trying. It's hard. It's a lot of work. And then I know, Karen, you had also sent me originally a list of just a little description of each of those 9 power animals. Is that available on your website, or is that something?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's Power Animal Teachings, and it's free. So if you go on to shamanicteaching.ca, teachings with an S, .ca, you'll have to sign in. There's no charge to sign in. But if you go up to the top of the shop, that it says Power Animal Teachings, and it's free. And it walks you through every one of these animals, and there's a video with it.
It's amazing. Thank you. That's what a gift. Thanks, Karen. Lori, did you have something? Oh, you're muted.
Sorry about that. I just wanted to, I have a book that I bought many years ago called The Celtic Wheel of Life or something. Is that a similar, like I know it follows the cycles, right? I don't remember the names of them now, but is that sort of a similar
Very
philosophy?
similar. Yeah, very similar. I'm part of the Celtic shamans group as well as the Mongolians shamans group, and I'm finding that there's a lot of crossover from where I go. I go with the Mayan and the Hopi, so that's kind of my niche. That's where I like being. But the Celtics, we cross over quite a bit in the same stuff. I believe their directions are different than ours, so their elements are in different spots than ours. But it is, yeah, it is very, very similar.
Interesting.
I remember we had an indigenous speaker like a year ago, January, and she was talking about indigenous awareness, and it did come up about, how are we okay to dive into the different cultures and that. And she actually said, you know what, why don't you look into your own as well? Like if you maybe are from the Celtic background, start exploring that and then comparing and seeing that. So that's really
Yeah, that
interesting.
comparison is good. And really, spirit doesn't put us in those boxes. Humans
Right.
do.
Yeah.
Right? I'm white. I teach in a teepee in my yard. I'm got no indigenous in me at all. Zero, none, nada. But I can tell you I'm very well received in the indigenous community. I can tell you that I get a lot of indigenous students here that come here to learn from a white woman. My nephew he was giving me a hard time. Oh, you're a white woman in a teepee. You shouldn't be doing this. The only one of my husband's family that was angry about it. You know what? He's in my class, and he's doing really well. And so it's like, no, it's spirit that spirit's just open to spirit. They're all love. It's got nothing to do with that. And in our case, even the teepee has been used all over the world. People don't know that. They're called lavus. If you go to Scandinavia, that's what they use. They still use them to this day. They're called lavus. That's what the Vikings used.
Mm-hmm.
The only difference between a teepee here in North America and a teepee or a lavu in Scandinavia is that there's no flat poles, so that you don't have the clothes, the smoke poles. It's wide open at the top. That's the only difference. Same amount of poles in the same circle with the same spiritual animals. Identical. It's been used all over the world. It's us as humans that block ourselves off from that and put ourselves in a little box and don't let anyone else in our box.
Mm-hmm.
So true.
I would challenge and say, open up the box and get rid of it.
Love
And
that.
then read Lightning Bolt. There's a book called Lightning Bolt by Hamiel Storm, and they talk about that very thing. And it is the most profound. It is the fundamental of all the teachings that I do. It is the groundwork.
Who wrote that book?
Hamiel Storm. I will get you a link to that.
Thank you.
And it's Lightning Bolt, one word.
Oh, okay.
That's his medicine name, is Lightning Bolt. But he was he called himself a breed because he talks about back then it was his life story, and how he and how he learned and how his teachers taught him and how he got the word out to other people. And his whole community turned against him for turning to allowing people of other cultures to know what it is that spirit wants everyone to know. We're not broken, and we're all together, and we're one person. We're all together. And if you look at the colors of the medicine wheel, there's the white, as in white skin. There's the black, as the black skins. There's the red, as the red skin, and the yellow is the yellow skin. And together we make the world. It's humans that separate us, particularly politicians, but I won't get into that.
We might be here all night. Kim, did you want to?
Labels is a very big thing these days, and it's something that I have a trouble with. So I understand that. Yeah.
Yeah. Kim?
Yes, one of the things I was just going to say, as one of Grandmother Karen's first year students, one of the things I love about her teachings is the fact, like our first weekend there, one of the first things she said to us was, if what I'm teaching doesn't resonate with you, let it go. She's like, if it is, use it. Right. And that's one of the things I loved about her teachings because, again, like there are different ways that you can look at the medicine wheel. And really the important thing is that you're connecting with spirit and that it's resonating with you and that, you're doing. And so I just wanted to say that that's one of the things I love about Grandmother Karen's, one of the many things
Nice.
is that, she's not, this is my way, this is my teaching, and this is, she's very, very
There's no
open.
right or wrong. There just is.
Exactly.
If I could just have a t-shirt that said it just is, it just is. There's no right or wrong, and everyone's right, and there is no wrong. It just is. We're all doing the best we can with the information we have, and cut each other some slack. Let's cut ourselves some slack, dude. We don't have to beat ourselves up about it.
Love that.
Lovely.
Amazing, Karen. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. Any final questions or words before we let Karen go?
Thank you for hosting this. This is very enlightening, even though I'm a student and I'm learning this. It's always nice to review and hear it again. And I picked up 3 pages of stuff tonight.
Oh, wow,
so-
there you go. Amazing.
So Louisa, you'll probably want to check the group out. They got some pretty cool stuff and some really neat speakers on here. Yeah.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Karen. Appreciate that. Yes. And just a variety of speakers. I think next month we're talking about allergies and how you can get rid of your own allergies, different, totally different. And then we have actually, Karen, you'll be interested in this in May. It's a very, very unique topic, which I don't know about the city slickers if this will work, but it's about raising chickens.
Wow, I love my chickens.
I know. We have a guest speaker, and she actually does a lot of the the biohealth stuff that Mel does. And she's like, but I want to talk about something completely different. And Mel, Mel just got a farm this past week, so I'm like, yes, let's
Chickens.
You'll have to come back and join us for that. So we always have something very unique and different, and this was no exception. This was absolutely amazing. I love it. I'm excited.
Yes.
I can't wait to get on that
Yeah.
drumming journey and go in there and see who my guys are. I'm
And
excited.
if anyone's having trouble,
Exactly.
just reach out to me. I can assist you in anything that you're having trouble with. Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, and you've got some thank yous in the chat box
Yes.
as well there, Karen, if you want to read. And
Lots
thank
of
you
love.
everybody for coming out and seeing how we do these guest speaker events. We really appreciate it and welcome you into our community. We hope that you'll continue to come out to our events and check out our online membership program and our community. And we welcome all of you. So thank you so much, and thank you, Karen.
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank
Absolutely.
you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
coming, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a good evening.
Oh.